Okay, that's good.
Well, good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a fantastic JNUG.
Go ahead.
My name is Pascal Butt. I'm a key account manager across Southeast Asia. A lot of my customers are really excited about Network Relay, and we are blessed today because we've got Lulia, who's the product manager from Jamf for Network Relay, and Carlos and Esteban from VEG to talk about their journey so far. So, please, welcome.
Thank you, Pascal.
Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing this morning? I hope everyone had a good time at the party last night. And hopefully today you guys will get something that may help your org. I do want to say that this is not a one-size-fits-all. This is what fit our needs at our location, and use it at your leisure. So I'm Carlos. I'm a 30-year-old Mac admin. Been doing this for 3 decades. Wow, I just said that out loud and I feel old. I've been using Jamf for 16 years, 17 years this fall, and I've had the ability to work in many sectors and opportunities. So throughout my years of using Macs as an admin throughout these sectors, I've picked up a lot of techniques and a lot of things that help me move from organization to organization and help me pivot faster to find solutions.
Hey, good morning, everyone. If you guys seen you in the last session, welcome. Nice to meet you again. I'm Esteban. I have about 20 years of military and private sector dealing with network and security. I have the privilege to have worked at VEG for now close to 4 years. It has been a fun ride seeing this company grow.
Hi, everyone. I'm Julia. I'm a product manager here at Jamf. I've been with Jamf for 3 years. And since I joined, I've been responsible for essentially the products that require some inline traffic processing. So whether it's web protection, web content, or web threat protection, or ZTNA, which is, I guess, the topic of our meetup here today.
So we're gonna just go over the agenda we're going through today. We're gonna go over who we are, who VEG is, Jamf at VEG, Jamf's ZTNA, our original setup and what led us here, Jamf's Network Relay, and what our wish list is as this product continues to evolve. This is us, VEG, ER for Pets, and who better to explain who we are and what we do than our CEO. So we got a short video which will explain who we are. No audio.
So there should be audio,
Yeah.
right? Are you looking into that?
This has nothing to do with Network Relay, everyone.
I mean, that's the problem. They're not using Network Relay.
Esteban, go fix it.
It's always a network fault, huh?
Oh, wait, he's over there. Well, while we wait, think about questions.
None of us are really talented at that. I mean, I assume maybe you guys are. I'm not.
No. But in a previous life. No bueno?
That's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll.
You could just guess what he's saying.
Yeah, you know.
Can you?
I'm just going to go back. Leave it playing or go back?
Try and go back. It's just you want, because I'm not seeing it anywhere.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Keep going.
All right. This is hilarious.
Well, you guys didn't know what you signed up for, but this is the stand-up comedy number, actually, not what you thought it was.
If anything, while this is going, I guess at VEG, we are known to find issues every single time. To give you a little background on us, we are Jamf customers, but we're also RC customers. Does anybody know what an RC customer is in the room? Anyone else?
Well,
Basically, we are release candidate customers. So we're the ones that are using, I would say, nightly builds of the JSS before it goes out in production. So a lot of the headaches that you guys may be running into with the releases, or a lot of the headaches that you're not running into, is because we have run into them. And we always find some issues, which is good because we help each other. But you're welcome. But as you can see, we found an issue that we have no audio. So if it's on brand for us. Who, them? No, they got a Mac Studio back there. But they're using Entra. All right, one more try or give up? All right, so what we'll do is we'll proceed, and if we could get it back at the end, we'll play it, because I can't explain what VEG is any better than he does. He knows it more than we do. We're more the technology side. So I don't want to steal Dr. Bessler's thunder. All right, let's talk about how we started here. When I first started at VEG, we only had 24 hospitals. At that point, we had 312 devices. We were already using VPN solutions to VPN to our locations, but it was painful. So as we started our endeavor, at the end of 2021, Wandera was announced out of JNUC. We approached Wandera and we started using Wandera. It solved one of our big headaches. It solved the solution that we were looking for. As it continued, in between 2022 and 2023, Wandera became Jamf ZTNA. The product evolved. Now, moving forward to August of this year, we have 4,393 devices that we're managing. In between that time, management asked us, hey, we like the way Jamf Trust works. Could it be any better? Could it be something that we don't have to sign into? The problem is that whether you're using it on iOS or macOS, every once in a while, you would need to sign back into Jamf Trust. So as anything, we're always asked to solve technology, but we're always asked to make things better for our users. So right in between this year, at the beginning of this year, we were approached by Jamf and they asked us, hey, would you guys like to use Network Relay? What's Network Relay, we asked. We had a conversation. We're like, sure, we're RC customers. We want to try anything you guys have. That conversation is what led us here today, and working with Lulia and her team, that brought us into Network Relay. Now, why ZTNA? We're early adopters. As we started with Wandera, it evolved to Jamf Trust, and now Network Relay. We have seen the progression of this product mature time and time again. And funny enough, sometimes it seems like their product is maturing with our needs without even us asking them. It's a continuous evolution of their technology. It's gotten better, easier, and as we beta test every macOS and iOS, it has been very resilient. It has worked every single time. It has not face planted in any way. The ease and the reliability of this is another key component. At VEG, we're a very lean team, even though I don't look it, but we're very lean. So we're always looking for solutions that are not only going to make our life easier, that we can support, deploy, and makes our users' lives easier.
I'm going to go over our original setup right before we even start using Wandera. So this is how it was a few years ago. At this point, this is the phase at VEG, where I like to call the VPN dark age, which basically there was no way to do audit because every site had its own, you had to log into every site via VPN per location. It was a pain to maintain. Every time we opened up a new hospital, every time there was a system change, I could be working on it, and only because you need a VPN, my VPN connection would have gone down. It was not fun. So when I came on board at VEG, we were looking at a different product. Carlos came to us about Wandera. Wandera itself, at the very beginning, was only DNS. But that, even with that shortcoming, it was mile ahead of what the current solution was. So at the beginning, then we deployed everything. We did our configuration on our backend, make sure our Meraki VMX was able to talk to AWS, to set up the ZTNA deployment. We connected everything to make sure that it worked before we went to deploy it to our devices. At this point, we were still, it was still DNS, which was fine. We used one of our devices to work on it. Then we started testing it rigorously on our devices, internally, even before pushing it out to our support team. Funny enough, like Carlos was saying, it seems like Jamf is always anticipating our needs. Then we were able to use IP addresses, and then we deployed that all across our fleet. Anyone that needed a VPN solution, which would have meant connecting to our SaaS app or connecting to our AWS. To this day, has been holding on strong. And has it been holding on strong? Since it could talk to AWS, our SaaS app, it has solved some solutions that we never even anticipated.
So our journey with Jamf ZTNA continues. The saga never ends. And again, we were asked a simple thing like, how can we make this better? When we were approached by Jamf, we didn't anticipate that this was going to solve multiple things that we were facing. But as we started testing this product, we saw that it was just knocking down obstacles we hadn't encountered. And it kept on getting better and better. Now, I'm not going to say that it was a smooth ride either. It was beta, but the expectations were set of what it could do and what to expect. And each time Lulia's team had another iteration or another change, they would message us and we'd be like, all right, and we'll get right back on them. Be like, yes, it works. No, it's not working. And all of that led to where we are now, introducing Jamf Network Relay. Now, I want to be very clear. It's still in RC. Mm-hmm. It's still working for iOS. For our discussion, mainly we're talking about iOS, and for iOS it works. But we do have some wish lists for macOS. We do have some reservations, and we do want to see the product mature as much as it has for iOS.
All right. Thank you, Carlos. So for the next section, we're going to dive into what Network Relay is, why it matters, how it can help you, and then we're going to get into kind of some of the nuances of where it is, what are the gaps right now, and how we kind of continue to work together in this partnership.
Absolutely.
So yeah, just to settle some context here, Network Relay is an Apple security platform which was introduced in macOS 14 and iOS 17 as an OS level feature basically. It is a new way to connect Apple devices to work applications. Think of it as a mother VPN, but it's smarter and it's, as I said, just built right into the operating system. It uses MASQUE as a tunneling framework, MASQUE being something that's tunneling TCP and UDP traffic over HTTP3, which runs over QUIC. And QUIC is a modern transport protocol. It's the same thing that powers iCloud Private Relay. Raise your hands for all of you who know about iCloud Private Relay. Okay, so you know what it is, right? So that's basically using QUIC as a way to route personal browsing, right? So the difference here is that Network Relay was designed to secure enterprise traffic And whereas iCloud Private Relay is all about masking private browsing. So that's the difference. And yeah, when they introduced it, we seized the opportunity to integrate it within our existing ZTNA stack, since we saw the benefit that it can provide to our customers. For the next slide here, I'm going to try to walk through how everything is connected. It's very high level. If you're going to want to learn more, there's been a session that we ran previously, Zero Touch, Zero Hassle, and there's a handout document there. So please revise that. But I'll try to do my best here. So let's try to paint the picture here of an organization, right? So you have your managed devices, Mac devices, iPads, whatever, and then all those need to be able to connect to your enterprise resources, whether those are on-premise applications or whether they're SaaS applications, IDB, and the task here is to securely connect those devices and the users using them to those applications. In our solution, everything is brokered through our Jamf Security Cloud, particularly the ZTNA engine, right? The Jamf Security Cloud is depicted here as one cloud, but it's actually a multi-edge data center situation here, right? Where you have a core and then you have multiple POPs, and the traffic is going to go through the closest POP to where that device is connecting from. At the core of our ZTNA solution, we have the ZTNA engine, which takes instructions from the access policies that the administrator defines. Those access policies are the rules that define what are your enterprise applications. So every enterprise application, you're going to have an access policy that captures the IPs and the domains that are associated with that application. You're going to include the devices that are authorized access for that application. You're going to also capture security conditions that need to be met by the devices in order for access to be supported, as well as we're going to define sort of the routing path. So for on-premise applications, you're going to have to set up an IPsec site-to-site. So things like that. That's all part of the definition, and they're of those access policies, and that has to happen regardless of whether you're going to tunnel traffic over Network Relay or over our traditional WireGuard tunneling method. So yeah, you have that set up, and then I skipped ahead. Another part of the configuration that you're going to have to configure within the Jamf Security Cloud in our portal is going to be setting up an activation profile, which will capture the fact that you want those devices to be able to connect to those applications, and you're going to instruct how that connection is going to happen. You're doing that by generating in Jamf Security Cloud this config profile that includes a Network Relay payload and an ACME payload. The ACME payload is there to essentially support the device identity verification using Apple Managed Device Attestation, right? So you get the highest assurance that the device that's going to connect into our infrastructure and then further into yours has been vetted and verified to be a managed Apple device that hasn't been tampered with. And then the Network Relay payload in that profile contains the instruction of those domains that have been defined within your access policies, right? So you're going to generate that in Jamf Security Cloud. You're pushing that whole profile through Pro over to the device. When this profile with these two elements to payloads drops on the device, the first thing that happens is that the device is going to go to this ACME exchange, at the end of which it's going to result with an ACME client certificate that has been released to that device in the light of attestation, right? And this ACME client certificate is usable for TLS communication. And that the Network Relay payload is actually referencing the ACME payload. So every time the device or a process on the device or the user needs to connect to any of the domains included in that Network Relay payload is going to leverage this ACME client certificate for TLS authentication and encryption. The traffic is going to be incoming into our infrastructure, and in there we're going to assess that traffic. So at that point, when the traffic comes in and presenting that ACME client certificate, we know that the device is a trusted device. Now, what we don't know is whether the device is an authorized device to connect to the targeted application. That's where the access policy evaluation happens. Sorry, I skipped ahead. Yeah, the access policy evaluation also takes place. And then depending on the result of that evaluation, we're gonna connect the traffic end-to-end or we're going to reject it, right? So that's kind of how it all hangs together. Again, if you're interested to learn more, happy to talk to you, to each and every one of you. But yeah, just to kind of finish my part here, I just wanted to highlight the key features and key benefits that we see in this solution, the network relay-based access. The first one I'm going to call out is the fact that you can set up your Apple devices with these very narrow tunnels as early as device setup, right? You can push these payloads through pre-stage enrollment without any user intervention. Right, so this is key, zero-touch network access. And then this access, as I described previously, is secured by the device identity being verified through Apple Attestation, right? So you're having this the highest form of assurance that the devices that connect into your critical infrastructure and applications have been vetted to be company-managed devices. This reduces the attack surface so much more than just relying on user identity to be sort of the gate of network access. And then because the underlying technology is all very modern protocols like QUIC and HTTP3, the solution is very fast and very resilient across networks and yeah, we've seen it perform really well. And last but not least, because of how network relay has been implemented by Apple, it is meant and is designed to be compatible with other VPN-based extension providers. So if you already have a ZTNA or a VPN provider, this doesn't conflict with that. It's actually all the things that are defined as part of the network relay domain, network relay payload, all those domains are going to take precedence. So those domains are going to go to network relay. Anything else, if you have a VPN on the device, is going to go through the VPN. That's how it's been designed by Apple to work. All right, yeah. So, yeah, that was it. Thank you.
So who knew Wile E. Coyote was ahead of his time with ACME products? I never expected to hear ACME, ACME all over the place in any presentation, but he was onto something. Why are we early adopters of Network Relay? So, to reiterate, the technology keeps on evolving. Jamf is listening to our needs, and sometimes not are they in lock and step, they're also taking a step ahead and letting us know of new features that they're building that we didn't know we needed. It is our primary line of defense because we use Network Relay and Jamf Trust as our key component for our help desk to support our hospitals. Without it, it would just be terrible and a horrible experience for all our users. We need to be able to pivot and access these locations at a drop of a dime. Our support team travels a lot. So whether they're in an airport, McDonald's, Starbucks, anywhere they're connected to, they can pull out their iPads, they could connect, they could hit resources, and be online and ready to support our hospitals. We don't need to think about that anymore. It's very transparent. It's kind of magical, which our support team likes. It's easy and reliable. And what I mean by that is, Lulia just went through the whole process how the connection is negotiated. It seems very complicated, but it is. Technically, in the back end, there's so many things going on, but what we had to do is just turn on two knobs, and we're gonna explain. Once Esteban turned on the knob on his end, I was able to turn on the knob on my end in Jamf Pro, and it just pushed. But I have to say, there was a lot of hard work that needed to be done. So as simple as we make it sound, it needs a lot of work. And I should have skipped ahead, but I did it. There you go.
To go over, just a quick overview. This is our setup, WireGuard setup. Has worked. It's kind of set and forget it. Has never really had any downtime and actually solved a lot of problems from users that we never anticipated to use the VPN for. When Carlos came, that he had a solution to have a VPN that had basically no user interaction, which our leadership was asking for. I said, okay, let's try it, but let's test our old configuration before we go ahead, because I believe in the Murphy Law. Anything could go wrong will go wrong. But actually it did it. It worked without no issue. We did our test, did our configuration. We have multiple security devices, VPN, pushing traffic all around, so we just needed to make sure that worked. And once we triple checked, it was just plug and play. To this day, I know this session is about iOS, but I personally have it running on my macOS, and have not had it. I did not have to go back to WireGuard to this day. It's an amazing product, especially in the iOS. It just boots up and it's already on the VPN, which our support team loves, because we are 24/7 emergency, and then every second counts to see if there's something wrong with the network. And like everything else, now that everything is working, we always want more. I alluded to that in my macOS, I'm running it. But there are some limitations that we're asking Jamf to solve for us. So our support team especially could use it. The share screen is one of the biggest one. The network gaps, I've solved that using my web browser to try and, instead of using ping, I just log into the web browsing of one of our printers. So for me it works, but we're getting greedy and we want more because we love the solution.
And I mean, looking at it, for the iOS side, it works. Yeah. And unfortunately, Apple's never given us the opportunity to do screen sharing from an iPad. Anybody from here at Apple, please take that down. So as we were looking for the macOS, we started benchmarking it against Jamf Trust, where we're currently used. And we do see some gaps there. But it's getting better with each iteration. We kind of heard word on the street that one of these got addressed or semi-addressed, but we're not here to confirm or deny that. Maybe next week. But if it does get addressed, it's going to help us in adoption of our help desk. I want and I would like to have a utility in which the help desk, let me screen share or let me attestation to the device and I can't hit it. Jamf Trust got disconnected for whatever reason. Let me sign in and then let me go back to task. I want it to be very transparent. I want it to be always on. I want it to be something that you take for granted. Because when a user takes something for granted, that means we did our part. We did something right. And that's the state we want macOS to be at. Right. So we're going to be working hard with Lulia's team to get it to that point.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you both. We've been very intent to have this slide here because, we wanted to make it well known to everyone that the solution right now is a release candidate available release for mobile. So that's where we have it at VEG right on iPads, and that's where it works without any glitch, any issue. And that is because mostly it goes back to sort of the tech stack in iPad versus macOS, right? They're different, they're built differently. Everything on an iOS is plugged into the same WebKit framework versus on macOS, right? It's a bit more disjointed. So that's why Network Relay holds so solid and so robust on iOS as opposed to macOS, where we're still working to close some of these gaps. Esteban and Carlos hinted to kind of the things that they're looking to see solved on Mac before they can roll this out further. We're tracking those. We are working really closely with Apple engineers, the ones that actually built this technology, and the ICPR before that. And we are confident that in the next 6 months we're going to be GA ready for both type of platforms. When I say mobile, I also include Vision OS and Apple TV, by the way. So those also work really well. We just didn't really have a lot of customers that kind of needed to put that on these devices for real use cases yet. But yeah, just so you know, like when we're talking about Network Relay, we mean all Apple OS platforms. Yeah, so then if any of you here, if any of you wanted to sign up and test it out, you're gonna need to, go to this site. It's a Microsoft survey form. You're gonna need to fill out a couple questions, and then within the next day or two, we're gonna get back to you and get this set up and enabled in your Radar instance. If you don't have access to a Radar instance, you're gonna have to talk to your account team, right, to get access to a trial instance. And then, at 11 a.m., there's a brain date as well. So if you wanted to discuss that a bit more with me, and they'll be there as well. But I think now we're wrapped up, right, for our kind of slide. We have time for questions.
Yeah. Did we get the audio back or no? Yeah, we can play. Oh, okay. I'm going to go back a little while you guys think about the question.
Let's do that.
Oh, wait. It's not. There we go. No.
VEG, ER for Pets. VEG has a unique story, and I'm proud to share a little bit about it with you. For years, I saw firsthand how stressful critical moments in an ER can be for pets and the people who love them. I also saw the frequent burnout that vet med professionals go through. It's not an overstatement to say that the traditional model for emergency care was broken. Pets were being taken away from their parents and brought to the back, creating stress between pets and their humans. And for everyone, communication fell short, disrupting our flow, causing anxiety and a roller coaster of emotions. I founded VEG to change all that, to keep people and their pets together, to create a culture where we support each other's career growth and general well-being. Along with my partner, David Gladstein, we created a fully transparent, open, and honest experience where pets are treated like people and people like human beings. We call it the VEG way, and it worked. Today, we're over 100 hospitals and 7,000 veggies strong and growing. But to do all this, we needed technology that could keep up with our goal of becoming the world's veterinary emergency company. From day one, Apple products felt like the natural choice for us. They're intuitive, they're reliable, and they just work, which is exactly what we need in an emergency setting. In our hospitals, you'll see our doctors and vet nurses using iPads to help people and their pets in an emergency, checking records, updating treatments, and communicating with families in real time. You'll see Apple TVs displaying updates so our pet parents can follow along and feel included. Our IT teams heavily rely on Macs and Mac Minis to keep everything running smoothly behind the scenes too. Apple technology helps us stay connected, efficient, and focused on what matters most, helping people and their pets when they need it most. Of course, when you're scaling quickly, having hundreds of devices across hundreds of hospitals in the hands of thousands of ER superheroes could easily become overwhelming. That's where Jamf saves the day. Jamf gives our IT team the ability to manage every Apple TV, every Mac, and iPad securely and seamlessly, and without slowing down our people on the floor. It means a new doctor can pick up an iPad on day one, log in, and it just works. It means we can keep our systems safe, up to date, and ready for the next emergency without missing a beat. We don't see Apple and Jamf as just vendors. They're true partners in our mission. Together, we bring to life the kind of experience that makes VEG different, transparent, connected, and deeply human. Because when someone rushes in with their pet, every second matters, and the technology we use must be reliable. It's like having another member on our vet staff. Esteban, Carlos, and our IT leaders are constantly thinking about how to make our hospitals more connected, more efficient, and more human. And Apple and Jamf are at the heart of that strategy. They make it possible for us to scale while keeping the customer focus and care that define VEG. For me, as a lifelong Apple user, it's exciting to see that same simplicity and reliability powering the future of emergency vet care. At VEG, our mission is helping people and their pets when they need it most. Apple and Jamf make it possible for us to do that as we scale up as the world's veterinary emergency company. Our partnership is helping us and inspiring us to redefine what's possible in a kinder, faster, better ER for pets.